So one of the Republican members on this House Select Committee that's investigating the January 6th Trump riots, Adam Kinzinger, essentially admitted to Wolf Blitzer last night on CNN that other than one or two Republican elected officials, none of them actually believe that Donald Trump won the 2020 election. It's not a surprising admission, but I would make the point that it's actually worse that despite not believing it, they continue mostly to allow the claim to spread publicly. And we'll get back to that. But before we look at the video, just as a sort of reminder, there was a proposed January 6th commission that was going to be 9/11 style is the way it was described. It was proposed months ago. It was going to be truly bipartisan in the sense that we would all sort of agree that it's bipartisan, which meant that there were going to be 5 members chosen by the Democrats, 5 members chosen by the Republicans. The chairman would be a Democrat rather, because Democrats control the House. Vice chair would be Republican. Every subpoena would have to be signed off on by both the Democratic chair and the Republican vice chair. Republicans said no. Whole bunch of reasons why they said no. Many of them bogus. We've talked about it before. So eventually we get to this House Select Committee, which is investigating. And in this one, House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy said, here's 5 Republicans we're putting on it. 2 of them were Jim Jordan and Jim Banks, who really should be witnesses or they're potentially accomplices in the riots. They have no business investigating them. And so Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, rightly said they can't be on the commission. Ultimately, we saw Republican Adam Kinzinger and Republican Liz Cheney placed onto this panel. And after the first day during which we heard from 4 different members of Capitol Police, last night, Adam Kinzinger was interviewed by Wolf Blitzer on CNN. Now, it's really important as we watch this clip. Adam Kinzinger is talking about elected officials don't believe Trump really won. This is not about Republican voters. That's an important distinction, which we're going to talk about in a second. But let's start with the interview here and very, very important points made.
We can get to answers.
Have any of your Republican colleagues, I'm just curious, actually privately said to you, good work, I support you?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Is that just
a
one or
number
two?
of them.
Is it a handful or give me a ballpark number?
Because over time, I don't know. There's a lot of people, and that come up and say it. And it's not any of the ones that, go on TV and spout the big lie and then say it. It's the ones that are staying more quiet that I think appreciate the stand. But it's a lot. And look, Wolf, the thing to keep in mind, save 1 or 2 maybe out here, nobody, and I think it's very important to repeat, nobody actually believes the election was stolen from Donald Trump. But a lot of them are happy to go out and say it was.
Are you still comfortable being a member of the Republican Party? Have you given any thought at all maybe of switching parties as you're going to have to seek re-election next year?
Yeah, no. Look, I'm a Republican at heart, right? I was a Republican way before Donald Trump, since I was 6 years old. I believe in the values I'm
6-year-old Republican. By the way, we could explore that 6-year-old Republican, but let's not right now.
Fighting for, and I believe that a party with such a great, rich history deserves to have people, even if it's only a couple of us at the moment, in there fighting to restore the soul of it. So I'm going to fight hard for that.
So let's think about this. I essentially believe that Adam Kinzinger is right here. I think there are almost no actual Republican elected officials who think Trump won the 2020 election. They're not good people because privately they don't believe it. They're actually bad people. I would say, it's a simplistic term, but what the point I'm trying to make is I would respect them if they came out and said, this is a lie. Joe Biden won. We might not like it. I'm not a Democrat, but Joe Biden won. This is Republicans saying this. Privately believing that Joe Biden won, but not coming out and saying it and allowing it to be perpetrated and perpetuated and blown up and signal boosted by your colleagues, I would argue that that's actually even worse. And I know that there are some people who will hear this and they'll say, I knew that most of these Republicans had a good head on their shoulders. I knew it. They couldn't really be so dumb as to believe that Donald Trump actually won the election. They're okay people. No. It's even worse that they are allowing something like that to be continually spread, discussed, signal boosted, and reported as if it's news when they don't actually believe it. And the most infuriating part, and this is where we have to distinguish between Republican politicians and Republican voters. It is not true that Republican voters don't believe it. The Republican voters do believe it. They are polled on it regularly. And so these Republican elected officials who maybe they privately know that Donald Trump didn't actually win, they are allowing or even participating in misleading their constituents because it keeps them politically relevant. It keeps them on Trump's good side, which they think maybe they're going to need in 22 or in 24. If they know it's a lie, then why are they spreading it or allowing it to spread? And it's because they know that a lot of the voters believe it, and the voters believing it probably is beneficial to them in terms of getting themselves reelected. And the voters believing it is having a real impact. When I drive by this house a few miles away that has this huge 12-foot wide by 10-foot tall Trump flag in the yard that says Trump won, they really do believe it. And we see the polling and we see that tens of millions of these people believe that Donald Trump actually won. So great. There are Republicans who are immoral or amoral enough that while privately they know Donald Trump didn't actually win, they either say publicly that he did or he might have, or they shut their mouths and allow the Republican Party voters to continue spreading that idea. They aren't good people because they privately know the truth. They are bad in the sense that they don't come out and say, hey, guys, I might disagree with Democrats on taxes, abortion, foreign policy, whatever. But the president of the United States is Joe Biden because Joe Biden won the election, period, fair and square, end of story. And, I'm not surprised to hear Adam Kinzinger say it. He's willing to say it. Unfortunately, many of his colleagues may not believe it, but they're still willing to allow it to spread like a virus within the Republican Party. One of our sponsors is Rise, the science-based app that makes it easy to improve your sleep and daily energy. I have struggled with sleep at times in my life. I've tried many different things, and Rise has been really useful. It tracks your sleep debt, which is how much sleep you essentially owe your body, tracks your general rhythms, helps you understand your daytime energy levels. And Rise can improve your sleep and energy by giving you personalized feedback about your sleep metrics, when you should go to bed, when you should wake up, in terms of optimizing your personal rest. It can even tell you things like how long should you expect to be groggy in the morning based on when you wake up. You can make science-based improvements to 16 different habits that will make you feel more rested every day. And most Rise users start feeling that way in the first 5 days, including me. And Rise is still helping me every day. It's great. It's based on real sleep science. Very few things are as important as improving your sleep. Go to risescience.com/Pacman to try Rise free for a week. The link is underneath this video.